From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Thursday, July 21st. We're going to have lots of sunshine today, another dry weather day, and it's going to be really hot with highs rising back into the low 90s.
Johnson County 911.
We're at Greenwood Mall and there's a shooting.
Do you have eyes on the shooter?
No, we do not.
911 calls detail the chaos during the mass shooting at Greenwood Park Mall on Sunday. News 8 received some of that audio from Johnson County dispatchers. IT-Mate's Richard Essex explains the terror and chaos that lasted long after the gunfire ended.
One of the first calls to the 911 center was from a woman who said that she was in the food court, hiding behind a vending machine. She told the operator that 3 people were dead and others were running for the doors.
At the food court, there's 3 people dead.
By the food court?
Yes.
Okay. Is it a male? Listen, is it a male or a female? I need you to give me information.
From what I can tell, from what I see, it looks like a male.
A male? Okay, where's the male?
He's dead on the ground.
Okay.
Seconds after the shooting stopped, the calls came pouring into the 911 center.
Is the male the one that was shooting?
Yes.
So somebody shot him?
Yes.
Who shot him?
I'm sorry, but the active shooter was a male.
Okay, the active
white male in a white t-shirt.
Stay where you are safe, okay? Ma'am, they are all saying how many shots? How many shots did he fire?
I don't know. All I know is it just went off and everybody did not run in.
One of the shooting victims that survived called her mother. The mother called 911 on her way into the mall.
Greenwood Park Mall. My daughter called and said she's been shot.
We have officers already there at the scene. Where are you at now?
God. I am driving into the parking lot where Macy's is right now.
What kind of car
I do not
are you
know
in?
where she is, but I am her mother.
The 911 operator told her to turn on the emergency flash or stay in her car, and an officer would come get her.
My baby. She was alive when she last talked to me. I mean, she said she'd been shot. She'd been shot.
I understand, ma'am. We have officers and fire department already taking care of the situation. As soon as they,
I am here to go wherever we need to go to take care of my baby, please.
we will get them in there to help
God.
as quick as we can. Stay inside your vehicle.
Okay.
Revealed in the hours of recordings is the efforts made to clear the entire mall of everyone that had been inside hiding and to make sure that those that had been inside hadn't participated in the shooting. In Greenwood, Richard Essex, Wish TV, IT-Mate.
Greenwood police are working to see if the shooter made online posts with Nazi imagery. Screenshots taken from the 4chan website circulating this week are attributed to the suspect. One depicts the man identified as the shooter in what looks like a Nazi uniform. Police say they are aware of the posts and are trying to identify the source. The FBI is also analyzing data found on a heat-damaged laptop and a cell phone found in a toilet at the mall. And friends are describing the shooting victim, Victor Gomez, as a hardworking business owner, husband, father, and son. Gomez is one of 3 people killed at the mall Sunday. The other victims are husband and wife Pedro and Rosa Pineda. We spoke with a woman who knew Gomez and saw him at the mall moments before the shooting. She says he owned a well-known granite business and knew many people in the community. She said he was fun and they like to joke around with each other a lot. There is a GoFundMe page set up for the Gomez family. We've put the link on wishtv.com. You can just click on this story to find it. And the city of Greenwood will honor and remember the victims with a vigil. It's planned for tomorrow at the Serena Park Amphitheater at Main and Meridian. The mayor and local faith leaders will be there. Organizers plan prayer and song. They say to bring lawn chairs if you'd like. It starts at 7 p.m. A new poll indicates most Americans believe that the government can do more to prevent mass shootings. In a CNN survey, nearly 7 out of 10 say government and society can take more action. That's an increase over previous years. About 58% say they are at least somewhat worried about gun violence. 26% say they are very worried. And lawyers for a family of the man who died in IMPD custody recently tells IT-Mate that it's time for the city to overhaul its crisis intervention program. This after the coroner ruled Herman Whitfield III's death a homicide. We first broke the release of the autopsy report on daybreak yesterday on Wish TV. It listed Whitfield's official cause of death as cardiopulmonary arrest in the setting of law enforcement subdual, prone resistant, and conducted electrical weapon use. The Indiana Coroner's Training Board says a homicide can be justifiable, excusable, or criminal. Whitfield family's lawyer says he now must prove that the cause of death was caused by the officers and that the use of force was excessive and resulted in his death. IMPD says the officers involved are still on non-enforcement administrative duty. The department plans to present its internal review findings to the prosecutor by the end of Friday. Leaders of the Republican-dominated Indiana legislature want to include limited exceptions in a state abortion ban. State senators revealed their proposal yesterday and plan to take it up during the special session starting Monday. The bill would ban abortions from the time an egg is implanted in a woman's uterus. It allows abortion in cases of rape, incest, fatal fetal abnormalities, or to save the mother's life. Republicans say it would not limit access to emergency contraception or limit doctors from treating miscarriages or ectopic pregnancies. Democratic leaders say who wrote the bill matters.
This legislation will go to rules, which is run by the leader, President Pro Tem Bray, has one female, the author of this legislation. That is factual and that is clear that women in the start of this discussion will have very little, if any, voice.
This is a really, really challenging issue, and you have to weigh the right for women to make these decisions along with the right of the child that's not born yet, and that's very significant to a lot of people.
Bill writers say the proposal is about preserving the dignity of life. The ACLU says the bill would leave doctors risking investigation and criminalization, making the exceptions in name only. Indiana Right to Life says the bill doesn't go far enough, releasing a statement reading, "This bill goes through the motions on paper, but lacks any teeth to actually reduce abortions in Indiana by holding those who perform abortions." Republicans also broke yesterday from Governor Holcomb's plan to fight inflation by sending $225 refund checks to taxpayers. The GOP proposed instead to cap the state gas tax and suspend the 7% sales tax on utilities. Tonight, the House committee investigating the Capitol insurrection holds its final scheduled public hearing in a primetime television event. Lawmakers on the panel plan to dive into the 187 minutes where they say former President Trump failed to act in spite of pleas from allies, aides, and his family. Two former White House insiders will testify. Former Deputy National Security Advisor Matthew Pottinger and former Press Secretary Sarah Matthews both resigned on January 6th. Both say Trump's inaction and his tweet saying Vice President Mike Pence didn't have courage led to their decisions. You can watch the committee's hearing here on Wish TV or stream it on wishtv.com and Facebook. Our live coverage starts at 8 o'clock tonight. The U.S. hit a new COVID milestone, 200,000 COVID deaths so far this year. That's according to data from Johns Hopkins University. Health experts are warning about the dangers of the Omicron subvariant BA.5. The CDC says the subvariant is the most contagious yet, fueling the current spikes in cases, hospitalizations, and deaths in America and Europe. The CDC reports the number of monkeypox cases in Indiana has gone up to 26. That's an increase of 15 cases from the week before. 43 states and Puerto Rico have all reported cases. The disease typically begins with a fever, headaches, and chills 5 to 21 days after exposure, with 1 to 3 days of symptoms beginning, then a rash develops. A person is considered infectious until all the scabs from the rash have fallen off. The police chief in Carmel wants one of his top officers fired. Deputy Chief Joe Bickle is accused of misconduct. The department has suspended Bickle. A police merit board will decide whether he'll lose his badge and job. Bickle is accused of groping a female employee, trying to forcibly kiss another female employee, and kissing the hand and neck of a third employee at a work event. He's also accused of trying to influence another department employee to violate standard operating procedure in order to benefit a family member. All levels of our law enforcement team should reflect the excellence of our nationally recognized and accredited police department, especially those who were chosen to set the example for all to follow. That is a statement from the police department. And family and friends paid tribute to Ivana Trump's life. A funeral service was held for Donald Trump's ex-wife in New York City yesterday. The former president and the 3 children they shared together attended the service. The Trump family announced Ivana's death last Thursday. A medical examiner ruled it an accident, saying she died from blunt impact injuries to her torso. She was 73 years old. President Joe Biden says he's taking executive action to address climate change. The president announced modest actions yesterday, but promised more to come. Biden said he'll strengthen the offshore wind industry in the Gulf of Mexico and the Southeast. He also announced $2.3 billion to help communities dealing with high temperatures. Biden said the world is counting on the United States and asked states for help, but he did not declare a national climate emergency. If he does, it would open the door to more funding. And finally, as always on Thursdays, we sit down with Inside Indiana Business host Gary Dick. This morning was no exception. Here's our conversation.
Big news for Tippecanoe County tops our talk with Gary Dick as part of our partnership with Inside Indiana Business and the Indianapolis Business Journal.
Gary, this morning you're talking about a new investment at Purdue University.
Yeah, microelectronics, microchips, they really fuel our lives. And so much what we do, we hear a lot about the shortages that have existed for some time and the U.S. racing to do something about it, create a pipeline. Part of that pipeline will be at Purdue University. Big announcement this week, Minnesota-based company announcing a huge investment, $1.8 billion into this new R&D and manufacturing facility at Purdue's Discover Park. Skywater Technology is the name of the company. A lot of elements to this nationally in terms of that national pipeline of microchips, computer chips, and others getting into the pipeline. The impact at Purdue, which is changing dramatically in so many ways, and jobs, 750 jobs, and these are the higher wage jobs. Just to let you know, when I talked to Mitch Daniels a few weeks ago when he announced that he was going to be stepping down, retiring, I said, what's next? He said, well, I have a few more things to announce here at Purdue before I leave. I think this is one of them. We'll see what's next.
Let's go way down the interstate to Columbus. Power structure at Cummins is taking shape.
Yeah, Jennifer Rumsey, Hoosier, a success story, if you will, grew up in Columbus. Purdue graduate as well, the first woman to lead Cummins in its more than 100-year history. You talk about President Biden's talk yesterday on climate change and the environment. That will be a big focus of hers going forward. Interesting to know that many years ago when Cummins was on the ropes, there are a lot of people who questioned whether Cummins could actually succeed. They embraced the environment. Big, heavy manufacturer. You think they wouldn't do that. They did. Part of their strategy, so we'll talk to her about that on the show this week.
I know she's part of it. What else is coming up on Sunday?
Jennifer Rumsey will be in studio. Also, new leadership at an organization called Elevate Ventures. It's a firm that helps to support entrepreneurs and innovation. An interesting tech leader will be taking over there, and we'll have the story behind the Cheesecake Lady.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. Cheesecake Lady.
Tell us more. Are there taste tests?
It's going to be good. That's a tease. Yeah. We'll have
how about friends at IBJ?
Lots coming up there. Lawmakers considering restrictions on abortions. Also, Muncie entrepreneurs pushing high-tech cornhole scoring. So that should be here's cornhole scoring.
How many times do you have to ask your teammate, what's the score again?
Right.
What is it?
Exactly. This solves that problem. And the Indiana 250, this is interesting. IBJ Media, a parent company, selecting the 250 most influential people in business, academia, community leaders, out with that list today and tonight, and they'll have it in the paper this week.
This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.